we actually saw a movie on Netflix.
Hmm.
And let me tell you, since we didn't make a short about this, I have got to say it's one of the better sequels of Beverly Hills Cop.
I thought you were going to go the opposite direction, honestly.
Well,
As was I, but okay.
I liked it for the fact that it's a bit nostalgic. It has somewhat of an original story. It wasn't too convoluted. It was very simple in nature. You got everyone who was in the previous movies. They got that small little role. It's not like they were dragged in throughout the whole movie. The only person in the whole movie was Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley. That's it. It wasn't like they like when I originally saw the trailer, I was like, oh man, what's his name in the thing?
Judge Reichel?
No, Billy. When Rosewood, I thought Rosewood would be in the whole movie, like him and Axel, being buddy cop type deal, and it wasn't. I'm glad that this movie had just enough comedy that made it feel like the original, but also different than the original. But I will say this, though. For all you people that say that it's better than part 2, y'all need to go watch part 2 again.
I don't know what they're talking about, whoever's saying that.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you right now. I am going to disagree with every single thing you just said about this movie.
Nice. Okay. So tell us more.
I didn't think it was that great.
Wow.
I agree that the story was simple, but it was very predictable and kind of boring. How many times have we seen this before where like, an older retired whoever has like their estranged child like reluctantly working with them. We saw it with Die Hard. We've seen it with like a ton of other movies. And, that person is taking the place of, in this case, Judge Reinhold's character, Detective Rosewood.
Yeah.
Which was very disappointing to me because I felt like he was just reduced to like a corner, not even a side character, but like a corner character. He had to be saved and all that stuff. And he only had a scene, like a couple scenes in like the last 11th hour of the movie.
But it was a driving force for the plot. Then he went missing.
But it didn't have to be him, because like who was he replaced with? Like his daughter, like Axel Foley's daughter, who isn't a likable character at all in this movie. I didn't like her at all in this movie. There was nothing about her that I was rooting for. And it was very predictable with like what's his name being the main villain at the end.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. We all knew he was going to be like the mastermind at the end of the movie.
Right away. When you first see him, the first thought when you see him, you're like,
so good, Kevin Bacon.
You're the mastermind behind all this.
It wasn't even like a question. Like there could have been like some sort of like twist or like some sort of like maybe who done it. It was like, no, this is the path that we are strictly staying on, and we are not deviating from it whatsoever. I'll give it some nostalgia points a little bit, but it went a little too far into the member berries with like like all the references and
pictures.
The music. I was cool with hearing, but it just felt like it felt only like a Beverly Hills Cop movie because of all the old music and all the that stuff, like that. Like that, cool, great, but like it's not like it's like a movie wrapped up in like a Beverly Hills Cop rapping, not it just I don't know. Like the estranged child plot point is I think is tired and predictable, and like if you're replacing somebody like Detective Rosewood with Axel Foley's child, and like she's not even a likable character, then it's like. They probably shouldn't have written it like that in the first place.
One character and one actor that was actually really likable was Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
See, I disagree with that.
And he's
I
another
didn't
one.
like him at all. That's the only thing I really didn't like about
the
it.
helicopters.
And Detective Rosewood should have swapped roles. I was thinking that the entire time. George Gordon-Levitt should have been the one getting saved, and he should have been like the human
but
MacGuffin.
I'm probably
that makes sense actually, because then she would have a bigger reason as to go after trying to save him because they had a relationship.
But
I didn't give a shit about his Gordon-Levitt's character at all.
As the movie went along, I kind of enjoyed his interaction with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, but that one scene with the helicopter.
I thought it was one of the funnier scenes. And I disagree with John. I thought Taylor Page as Jane, the daughter, was actually... I thought she wasn't that bad overall.
No, she acted well, but her
She was
character, it was
the-
her character that was written to be such like a stoic. Like I'm sure, I get she's mad at
Like
Axel for being
one-dimensional. One-dimensional.
Yeah, like everything about her was like, okay, why are you even partnering up with your dad if you're just going to slow him down at every corner just because you're pissed about him being not there for you when you were little? Like it's either you get the job done, or you don't. You know what I mean?
Well, she's also defending a client she thinks she knows from the start that's innocent, and everyone else is accusing him to be a cop killer, and she's gone whole on this, and she feels like her back's against the wall, which ultimately proved that she's right.
Right.
And
it also goes back to the fact that they turn around and say that she's just like her father, where if she gets something in her mind, she has to continue on and finish it. Trying to show that
like
father and daughter is the same.
I just felt like there were points where like she intentionally like let him make mistakes and slow him down just for the sake of making him look stupid. And I'm just like, it's like we're trying to like, get this figured out. Like enough with these tropes, because that's what they were. They were tropes. Like we've seen this kind of back and forth before.
I'm surprised there was no mention of his son that was going to have his own TV show that CBS was going to do about a decade ago.
That was canceled.
It was canceled, but there's clips online, and Eddie Murphy does appear in the pilot, and I'm surprised but they completely dropped that.
Right. That doesn't count though.
No, it doesn't count because Eddie Murphy, the network thought, oh, Axel Foley could be a recurring character, and Eddie Murphy said in an interview, I ain't recurring for shit. But I feel like Eddie Murphy, returns to one of his famous roles. He returns to form. He helps redeem the third movie. Speed had you when he's sitting with Detective Abbott and he's going through his history of coming to Beverly Hills, and he said, "Oh, you had a bad hour, you had a bad moment in 1993 or something like that."
Yeah, when he went to 1993, I was just like, oh, what a bad time. That part 3 was horrible. Like you can tell, everyone knows that Eddie Murphy only did it just to get the paycheck. But yeah, what did you guys think of Paul Reiser, who played
I wish he
Axel's partner?
Yeah, it's good to see him
in Detroit.
I wish he had more scenes. Like he was in it for a little bit in the beginning, and he had that small big part in the end that helped track a phone to his daughter's phone that was in the mansion. But it's always good to see him. Like you said, John. Like I said, I just wish he had more scenes.
Yeah, I mean, every time I just see him, I just think of "Man About You," but like that's the nostalgic pull for me because my parents used to watch that show all the time.
Well, based on how he looks now with the gray hair, I think of his character from Stranger Things, so I think of that doctor.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, I forgot he was on that show in that season. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to. It's not a theater release, so you're not like wasting money on a ticket to watch it for like a couch.
But you're wasting your time.
Well, I wouldn't
Is
say
it
like
worth
if
your time?
if you're looking for like a fun like couch Netflix show, turn it on. I mean, you're not going to be if unless you're like like a stickler like me, I guess, with a lot of stuff. Like it's gonna be a fun time. Like it has good stunts, it has good action sequences. Like like most of the jokes hit, some of them don't, in my opinion. But I just felt like if you're a Beverly Hills Cop fan, like there are things that they did with these characters and decisions that they made with the story that it could have been a much better movie than it ended up being.
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I feel like it's worth the time to watch it.
I agree.
It's much better than part 3. Almost as good as part 2, but still, 1 and 2 are classics. And I feel like
I would put this above 3, but nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else. No,
not that far above 3, in my opinion. But
oh no! I put it way above 3. Like even if the next movie comes out and it sucks, I'll still put that movie above 3 because 3 was horrible.
I don't know. It's like I think what annoys me the most is like what they did with Detective Rosewood, because I just felt like in the beginning when he was just like acting like scared and saying, guys, you can't, like that's just so out of character for him because he's also like a nut job. Mm-hmm. Like he should have been like there front and center, like causing havoc with Axel, but I don't know. That's just me. But
well, in a way, he was chasing something in the case. He quit the department. Mm-hmm. He was tailgating and doing surveillance on the drug cartel, which got him captured. Mm. So but the interaction he had with Taggart at the end was hilarious when they're in the mansion.
And then that's when they brought him back into character. I felt
right.
like,
okay.
That's what.
Right.
That's what it was. But it was like at the 11th hour of the movie, and it's just like, man, we could have gotten like a whole movie with stuff like this, and we didn't.
But see, that's the thing, though. Even all the other Beverly Hills Cop movies, Rosewood is not in it that long. Neither is Taggart. Like, they're only there for like comedic relief, basically. So
yeah,
it was. I feel like it was just enough where it made you want to have more in order to continue watching the movie, hoping that you will see Rosewood. Because for, not to spoil it or anything, but at one point you think something else happened and something else happened. So
I was scared they were gonna kill Billy. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was trying to get at, but okay, sure. That's what I was saying. Like, you originally think that they killed him, and then you find out that they didn't. So you're like, "Ooh, yay! Because he's not dead. Thank God."
But they needed that SD card, and he knew where it was. That's why they were keeping him alive until he got rescued by Axel.
And the best part is, where did you hide it, Billy? In my Rambo knife. Which was funny because those guys were holding the knife, and they're like, "Oh, look, a Rambo knife," and you're like, "Huh, a Rambo knife." And then towards the end of the movie, you're like, there's the smoking gun. Yeah. That's where it was. Yeah. So like I said, I liked it. I enjoyed it. There were parts of it where I was just like, eh. But also, if I'm not mistaken, the director of this, it's his first big budget movie that he's directed. Because I believe, if memory serves me correctly, most of the stuff he's done is commercials.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
This was his feature film debut.
There you go. So
and like you said, commercial television.
Yeah.
It's
probably why he hung on to memorberries so much in this movie, just to like try to help advertise, like, hey, you want to watch this because like if you really like the old movies back in the day,
and
you're gonna love this.
And the directors for this movie before he took over were the guys that directed the last Bad Boy movies, because they left this project unfortunately to focus on Batgirl.
Wow, well, that was a waste.
They got paid. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I guess.
Did you see what the reported budget was for this big budget movie?
For which budget? For Beverly Hills Cop? No, I didn't check.
$150 million.
And they will never, ever get that money back.
So like, without knowing like the science or the math of like how Netflix recoups their money for production, I guess it all depends on how much of views they get on the streaming.
I think so far, like, Axel's been number one so far the past week that it's been out. So, I mean, it might actually do pretty well. And they're advertising it pretty damn hard. Like, they're blowing the trailer up, like, on the Netflix interface in a way I've never seen any other movie show up on the app before. So, I mean, they're really trying to make sure people know that it's there and ready to be watched. So, I mean, like I said, it's fun. It has, like, some good moments. It has its great action sequences, all that. If you love the 80s music, it'll be great. But it's just, there are certain things that they did with this. I'm just like,
just bottom line, just to see Eddie Murphy.
You're not wasting a movie ticket on it. But if you're already buying into Netflix, give it a shot. Fine. That's the most I can tell you.
You're just watching for Eddie Murphy to see back at his funniest, one of his famous roles.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is though? Like, going into this, I had the feeling that it was going to suck somewhat. Like Coming to America 2.
That
movie just was terrible.
I liked it. Thank God for Wesley Snipes for that movie. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. It didn't capture the essence of the first movie. It tried to, failed miserably, but I feel like this movie tried to capture the essence of the original, and it came close to it.
I feel like Bad Boys 4 did that better than this movie. A lot better.
You can't. I mean, you're talking about a legendary comedy series that goes back to the 80s. And Bad Boy, I know.
Bad Boys came out in the 90s. I mean, everything's old at this point, right? So it's 30 years old versus 40 years old.
He's right.
The year of the sequel continues.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hopefully Beetlejuice is better. But yeah, so the question goes out to you guys. Did you guys see it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you think they should make a part 5? Let us know in the comment section down below.